How sweet Guluva and Ashley Ogle's light pierces through every shadow. In the midst of darkness deliberately cast by enemies and critics, sweet Guluva and Ashley Ogle's love doesn't just survive. It shines brighter, illuminating paths for others and proving that true light cannot be extinguished by shadows. No matter how orchestrated the attempts to dim their radiance, no matter how persistent the efforts to overshadow their joy, Ashley and Sweet continue ascending, their trajectory upward defying every prediction of failure and every wish for their downfall. The phenomenon of light shining brightest in darkness isn't just poetic metaphor when it comes to Sweet and Ashley, it's their lived reality. Every attack launched against them has served to highlight the authenticity of their connection. Every lie spread about them has made the truth of their love more apparent. Every attempt to cast shadows has only made their light more necessary, more visible, and more appreciated by those who witness it. The darkness that surrounds them comes from various sources. Jealous former housemates, bitter critics who cannot stand to see others succeed, trolls who find purpose in spreading negativity, and those who simply cannot comprehend that genuine love can exist in the public eye. This darkness is intentional, calculated, and relentless. It seeks not just to dim their light but to extinguish it completely, to prove that cynicism triumphs over sincerity, that hate conquers love. But here's what the enemies and critics fail to understand. Sweet and Ashley's light doesn't come from external sources that can be switched off or dimmed by outside forces. Their radiance emanates from within, from the genuine connection they share, from the love that has grown stronger with every challenge faced. This internal source of illumination is what makes them unstoppable. You cannot darken what glows from within by casting shadows from without. Their ascent in life continues unabated, each achievement another level reached despite the weights others try to attach to their wings. They keep going higher not because the path is easy but because they've learned to use opposition as propulsion. Every negative comment becomes fuel for their rocket. Every attempt to ground them becomes another reason to soar. They've mastered the alchemy of transforming darkness into light, hatred into motivation, opposition into opportunity. The beauty of their response to darkness is that it's not combative, it's transcendent. They don't fight darkness with darkness. They simply shine brighter. When critics spread lies, they respond with truth lived out in their daily actions. When enemies plot their downfall, they respond by rising higher. When attempts are made to dim their light, they respond by expanding their glow to illuminate more spaces, touch more lives, inspire more people. Nobody can stop them because their momentum comes from a source beyond human interference. When your purpose is aligned with your passion, when your love is genuine and your intentions pure, you tap into a power that transcends earthly opposition. Sweet and Ashley have found this alignment, this sweet spot where personal happiness meets public inspiration, where individual success contributes to collective hope. The sky being enough for everyone to fly is a truth that their enemies refuse to acknowledge. Those who spend energy trying to clip Sweet and Ashley's wings operate from a scarcity mindset, believing that someone else's flight somehow diminishes their own ability to soar. They don't understand that the sky has no capacity limit, that one person's success doesn't preclude another's, that there's room for everyone to reach their heights. Sweet and Ashley's continued ascent demonstrates this abundance principle. Their success hasn't come at anyone else's expense. Their love hasn't diminished the possibility of love for others. Their achievements haven't closed doors for other dreamers. If anything, their journey has opened more possibilities, created more opportunities, and inspired more people to believe in their own potential for flight. The brightness of their love in dark times serves multiple purposes. For them, it's a source of strength and comfort, knowing that together they create light no darkness can overcome. For their supporters, it's a beacon of hope, proving that authenticity and love can triumph over negativity and hate. For their detractors, it's a mirror reflecting their own darkness, making their bitterness more apparent by contrast. What makes their light particularly powerful is its consistency. They don't shine only when things are going well and dim when facing challenges. Their luminosity remains steady through ups and downs, through attacks and accolades, through private struggles and public triumphs. This consistency frustrates their enemies who expect to see fluctuations, who wait for moments of dimness to pounce, only to find the light unwavering. The attempts to dim their light have become almost ritualistic among their critics. New rumors surface with predictable regularity. Old lies are recycled with slight variations. The same tired narratives are pushed with desperate hope that repetition might succeed where initial attempts failed. But each failed attempt to dim their light only adds to the evidence of its inextinguishable nature. Their love shines brighter in darkness because contrast makes light more apparent. A candle in a bright room might go unnoticed, but the same candle in darkness becomes a powerful source of illumination. The darkness their enemies create has inadvertently provided the perfect backdrop for Sweet and Ashley's love to be fully appreciated. Their critics have become unwitting collaborators in highlighting exactly what they sought to diminish. The higher they go in life, the more visible their light becomes. Success hasn't dimmed their authenticity or changed their fundamental nature. Instead, elevation has given their light greater reach, allowing it to touch more lives and inspire more people. They've proven that going higher doesn't mean leaving others behind, but rather creating pathways for others to follow. Their enemies' inability to stop them reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of how light works. You cannot defeat light by throwing darkness at it. You cannot extinguish a flame by telling it shouldn't burn. You cannot stop people destined to fly by insisting they should remain grounded. Sweet and Ashley understand these principles, which is why they waste no energy fighting darkness directly but simply continue to shine. The metaphor of flight is particularly apt for their journey. Like birds who use wind resistance to gain altitude, they've learned to use opposition to their advantage. Every headwind becomes an opportunity to strengthen their wings. Every storm becomes a chance to prove their ability to navigate turbulence. Every attempt to ground them becomes another lesson in aerodynamics. Their love story has become larger than just two people. It's become a symbol of possibility in impossible circumstances. Young couples facing opposition draw strength from their example. Individuals dealing with criticism find inspiration in their resilience. Those who've been told their dreams are too big or their love isn't valid see in Sweet and Ashley proof that external opinions need not determine internal reality. The practical manifestations of their continued ascent are undeniable. Business ventures flourish despite predictions of failure. Brand partnerships multiply despite attempts to tarnish their image. Their influence grows despite efforts to diminish it. These tangible successes serve as measurable proof that their light not only persists but grows stronger with each passing day. The darkness thrown at them has actually served to purify and intensify their light. Like gold refined in fire, their love has been tested by the heat of hatred and emerged purer, stronger, more valuable. Their enemies have unwittingly contributed to the very thing they sought to destroy, helping create a love story that's more powerful because it's been tested and proven genuine. As they continue their upward trajectory, Sweet and Ashley carry with them the hopes and dreams of countless others who see in their journey proof that love conquers hate, that light overcomes darkness, that determination trumps opposition. They've become more than just a couple in love. They've become symbols of what's possible when you refuse to let others dim your light. The sky remains vast and welcoming, with room for all who dare to spread their wings. Sweet and Ashley's flight path doesn't block others but creates updrafts that make it easier for those who follow. Their light doesn't diminish others but ignites sparks in hearts that had grown cold. Their love doesn't exclude but includes, inspiring others to believe in love's power. In the end, the enemies and critics who tried so hard to dim Sweet and Ashley's light have failed not because their efforts weren't serious, but because they fundamentally misunderstood the nature of what they were fighting. You cannot defeat authentic love with manufactured hate. You cannot overcome genuine light with artificial darkness. You cannot stop people whose time has come to shine. Sweet Guluva and Ashley Ogle will keep going higher in life because that's what light does. It rises. They will keep shining brighter because that's what love does. It illuminates. Nobody can stop them because their journey isn't dependent on anyone's permission or approval. The sky is indeed enough for everyone to fly, and Sweet and Ashley's flight continues to inspire others to spread their own wings, find their own light, and rise to their own heights. In the midst of darkness, their love doesn't just shine, it blazes, a testament to the unconquerable power of genuine connection and the unstoppable force of two hearts united in purpose and love. Thank you.